to the show. Good morning, everybody. Today we have two guests. This is our first time having two guests. In this conversation, we meet Soul Alastair, a 22-year-old musician whose story carries both struggle and strength. Born in Morocco and now living in the UK as a refugee, Soul opens up about navigating dissociative identity disorder, hallucinations, and psychosis, while also facing the risk of being openly trans in a world that isn't safe. Through music and resilience, Soul offers a voice of honesty, courage, and hope. And we have Casper joining us as well. He is from to this week's earlier podcast. Welcome, you guys. Thank you for being here.
Yes. Hello,
Thank you for the
hello.
invite.
Yeah, happy to have you guys here.
Hi. This is my first time doing something like this, so I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
Casper, tell him that you were the same way.
It's all good. It's a good
I can do it.
time.
So yeah, we can all do it. So first, I usually ask, what's your favorite color and what's your favorite food? Casper's was pink at the time, and you said sweets, but I don't know if you said anything else.
It's a little bit
Oh.
of pink and blue right now,
Okay.
and then definitely still sweets. I'm craving anything with peppermint in it right now.
Oh, is that with your Hershey Kisses?
Yeah, it's just so good. I'm such a mint person, but
what about you, Soul?
So currently the person fronting is Lilith. Soul is nearby though.
Okay.
The way we work in our system, usually it's Soul that's fronting, and I'm in the passenger seat usually. But I want to be here to just help her out for the beginning. My favorite color is black, purple, and red. But
ooh,
collectively as a system, it's purple mostly. Ooh, that was divine. The LEDs turned purple at the moment I said that.
yeah.
But yeah, purple is our favorite. And when it comes to food, our favorite definitely is pizza. Uh, but when it
Ooh.
comes to what we usually eat day to day, it's like this really lazy meal where we just put nuggets in the oven and then take like turkey ham and then cheese and then on a toast, and there you go. And whenever we have any like chips, or if you're in the UK, they call them crisps.
Okay.
You just I just put them on top and then I crush them and hear that crunch sound. Ooh, and it gives like a good texture
Ooh.
That
and
sounds something
extra
like Snoop
taste.
Dogg would eat.
Yeah.
It sounds like stoner food, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
totally like a stoner food, but I'm not a stoner at all. I haven't smoked in
Oh, that's funny.
uh like over a year.
I have to say another food that I need to try. Um, really quick, just my neighbor mentioned it. She said that if you put jelly on top of grilled cheese, apparently that's really good.
Hmm.
I'm
Huh?
tempted. I'm
What?
tempted. Like I'm really tempted to try it.
What?
Also on the to-do list. Um,
Yeah.
grilled peanut butter and jelly
Hmm.
Yeah, that sounds good.
it is
Huh.
pretty good.
Interesting. Okay,
Did you
I'd
say
love to try
did you
that.
say
That
your
sounds.
yeah, you said your favorite food. You did.
Oh yeah, one more is like obviously sushi.
Oh,
Like
hey.
especially like when it's I mean, we gotta go for the classic like salmon maki all the time, every now and then. The avocado is like second best, but like the crispy shrimp one is so good too. And just like crispy shrimp sushi in general, oh,
So you like the crunch factor, the crispy crunch factor.
I love crunchy food in general. I just
Yay.
Relatable.
ah. Oh yeah, by the way, this is
Okay.
Soul right now. I don't know if you noticed like a difference in voice but hi.
I don't. I'm not too familiar, but I'm super open to learning. So just keep doing what you're doing, because
I
that's
feel
that's
like I
Yeah,
that
for
feel
helps.
like
sure.
I feel like Lilith has more of like a feminine voice.
I here's like a very good indicator. I tend to like fry my voice at the end of like the words that I say, and Soul tends to have more of a, I guess, like a smoother kind of voice rather than like a fry raspy voice in a way. And yeah, Casper is right. I sound more feminine, but yeah,
Yeah,
like this is okay. That right now was just Lilith, and this is me, Soul speaking. I don't know if you recognize like the difference
y'all
in our
are
voices.
y'all
It
are
might be just a
confronting.
little slight. Yeah, we're used to this. We're like 24/7, always like this. So yeah,
That's much different from Casper, because well, I don't know personally, but Casper seems to, is the word switch, like not as
yeah,
rapidly, or is
Yeah,
that
it
wrong?
yeah,
depends. Sometimes I deal with rapid switching, but like for instance, right now it's just Glitch, Casper, and Michael just sort of they're in the back seat, and it's kind of Michael driving
oh,
right now.
hi.
Oh, okay. What's up?
So yeah, like it's a little bit of Casper in the front too, though. I'm like, it's
Co-pilot.
whatever. And
Co-pilot.
co-pilot, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I think it also like has to do with the fact that we can communicate well with each other, and we're
yeah.
used to being like this. Like the car metaphor for the idea is like the one at the wheel is usually like the host, and then on the passenger seat like the co-host is like the one that's like there and can easily like switch to take the wheel. And in our system, the one at the wheel usually is Soul. And this is Lilith speaking. And it was a little blendy there when I'm explaining.
A little
It's quite
blendy.
blendy. Yeah. And the one in the passenger seat is usually Lilith. And then we have like Spirit, which is like a third one. And
Oh, I like that name.
uh, previously
Yes.
Spirit was like in the passenger seat for a very long time, but now they're like in like the back, and sometimes they're in an awkward place where it's like that middle part of the car between like the two
Yeah,
seats.
yeah.
Sometimes they're like
That's
there and they're just like floating ominously watching you.
that's how Jackson kind of
What
is
a
right
way to
now.
explain it.
That's kind of how
Ominously
Jackson
floating,
is
just
right
watching you.
now. But
Interesting. Uh,
yeah,
this is Spirit, by the way. Hello.
yes,
I'm known for the system to have like the most one of the most distinct voices because I
Yeah,
just
I
have a
hear
lower
it.
voice.
yeah.
And as soon as those two started talking about the voices, I was like, hi. And then they were surprised. They're like, oh, hi, hello.
How did you learn to communicate so well with one another? They seem like they get along.
Yeah, so uh, it was a process of first like discovery and awareness of each other, and then trying to use like things like a Discord server with like the plural kit bot that uses like proxy so that we would
Plural
know
Kit
like
is
who's talking to
amazing.
who. Yeah.
I don't
So
know
it's
what that
basically,
is.
if you don't know what Plural Kit is, it's basically a bot that you use on Discord to proxy the alter that is speaking. So, for example, you want to send a message saying, "Hi, how are you doing today?" But it's Lilith saying that. So you would have like a proxy that you can customize yourself. And then
I
once the message
wonder.
is sent, you see Lilith type that message with the profile picture, and you could speak as different alters like that.
I wonder if
Oh,
I can show an example. Hold on.
I wonder, why did they create that? Like, did they have that
Uh,
intention in mind?
yeah, yes, I think so. I'm not sure. Maybe it might have also been used for roleplay at first. I'm not entirely sure about
Oh,
the
that makes
history of
sense
Plural
too.
Kit. But right now, it isn't used for roleplay anymore. It's very like taboo to use it as roleplay nowadays, and it's mainly used
Yeah.
as a tool to help people with the idea to communicate with each other and inside of their system and with other systems. And it's really useful because in a lot of DID cases, when an alter is trying to communicate, like the communication is lost and forgotten, and just having that in text with the proxy, you can always revisit, you can remember. And a lot of the time, even the alter themselves would forget what they said once they front back.
Yeah.
Uh, and, and it's really useful and helpful to just have that kind of backlog
It sounds
between
like
each
it.
other rather than just like talking outside like this in front of a mirror or just like usually people don't like seeing looking at each other in mirrors. People usually
Mirrors
just like talking
suck.
into the open air, but I've seen I I think that the show Moon Knight has definitely like made it like a stereotypical
Ooh.
thing, like, oh, you look into a mirror and speak to your alter, but or like a reflection of yourself and speak to your alter. But
Mm.
that's not really popular because like most alters and most systems tend to have this disconnect with their human face. And
Oh,
even if
okay.
they are human alters, they have a disconnect with like the way that the body looks.
Yeah.
Oh, so they can also be like non-human alters?
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yes.
that either.
Yeah.
Yes. So we could talk all about that. Our system is full of non-human alters. I don't think we have like a single human alter, but like we come pretty close. I mean,
I
Soul is like literally this floating thing that shapeshifts of like stars and it's like purple. It's like a, a
Ooh.
liquid gas at the same time.
yeah.
It's like a universe thing, and it can shapeshift into a human being. It can shapeshift into all sorts of things. And then there's me, Lilith. I'm like obviously Lilith. I got succubus horns. I'm a succubus vampire. And then you got Spirit, which is like literally just like this divine light being. And who else? We have way too many cyborgs, way too many cyborgs, way too many machines. We have undead people, like literally dead people skeletons, uh, and like we have deities like Prometheus, and like angels and fallen angels. Like it's the
I
closest thing you can get to humans are those. There are some beings that, like Abyss, for example, is literally like an abyssal creature from like the abyss pit that has just like Hollow Knight looking face. I don't know if you know what Hollow Knight looks like, but it's literally just a white mask with like
hold on, I can
horns
show. I can
and
show.
a circle, a black circle for eyes, and the rest of their body is just pitch black, and that's like they're like a shadowy creature with a mask on,
I
and
got it. I got it.
like
Hold
there are
on.
also ones with like floating like smoke for a head, and they don't have like
That's
a
so
proper head, and there's
creative.
like one that's like an amalgamation of eyes, and they're like fragmented all over the inner world
Like
where they have like an eye in each
That
sector
looks like
looking at
Marshmallow.
everything. Yeah, that's
marshmallow.
You know what I'm
Marshmallow.
talking about? The
Yeah, kind of like
band?
that. Yeah, I know
Okay.
the artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some examples of what our altars look like. Uh
That's interesting.
yeah.
I'm learning so
Wild.
much already.
I have I furries. Furries.
Furries. Yeah, you
Dogs.
can have animal ones too.
And but we have a lot of like human ones compared to like y'all, I feel, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, but some of them are non-human vibes. And then I'm just like, you know, ah! Oh my goodness.
Um, what role does music play in helping you process your experience and emotions?
Um, so the way I use my music a lot of the time is to just bring the experience of dissociation into sound. Uh,
Ooh.
I don't know how to exactly explain that, but one specific artist made me completely like fall in love with that specific kind of dissociation sound, and their name is Yule, Yeule. They're non-binary as well, um, and they they have this specific sound that is so dissociative, and they're one of my favorite artists, if not my favorite number one artist. And it's this dissociative sound that whenever I would listen to it, I'd be like, yes, this is how I feel like I experience my day to day, my dissociation. Like 90% of my day, I'm constantly dissociating. And as I'm creating my music, I tend to, usually it's like automatic, just put in that feeling, that experience of what it's like to dissociate. And sometimes I end up making music that either helps you really ground, get into a meditative state, or just like go into like this dream world, inner world stuff. And a lot of the time I just like try to find sounds that really like scratch your brain in a nice neurodivergent way.
Ooh.
Your music definitely does that to me. I just gotta say that.
I don't have Spotify, so I have to download it and check it out. Does your music have lyrics or just sounds?
It I think lately 80% of the music is has lyrics, but there are some songs without it. But I really like to
You're
do
on
this
all
thing where I
platforms.
take,
Oh, all right. So you're on
yes, I'm
YouTube
on
Music
all
too?
platforms. Yeah, I'm on YouTube Music, Spotify,
Okay,
uh
okay, okay.
literally anything you could think of, Apple Music as well. Even even Roblox, by the way. Which
Yeah.
is
I didn't know
crazy
you could
that you
do
can
that.
release music to Roblox.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I use DistroKid, and that's an independent artist distributor, and you could send it to all sorts of places. You could send it to TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, yeah, like all sorts of places, even like places that you don't even know.
Does it do that for like podcasts too, or just music?
I'm not sure about podcasts. I've never tried that, but it
True.
might work. I'm not entirely sure. Um, but yeah, y- yeah.
Casper, do you have an artist? I think you mentioned it earlier this week, but do you have an artist that kind of like describes your disassociation and like puts you in your feels like that?
You're looking at them.
Yes, I love that for you guys.
But also like there's hold on. There's Grim Salvo. Grim Salvo is
Yes,
an
he's so
artist
good.
that really like I can just feel that vibe with it, and it really like it makes like specific people depending on the song. Why am I talking like this? I'm like talking like I'm trying to mask. It's so bad. But no, specific songs make specific alters front.
Okay.
And so like it
Yeah.
just it's either a really good experience or sometimes it's a bad experience, but most of the time it's a good experience and I just really love their music. Like it's really good. It's like two artists, isn't it, that made a band? Something like that.
I'm not sure. I don't know much about Grim Salvo, but maybe you
They're
would know
pretty
more.
good. I'm pretty sure yeah, I
Let me just for the people at home too, because I am interested in while you're here.
Oh
Hold
yeah, they
on.
are a duo. You're right. They are a
Yeah.
duo.
And they're like
Grim
dark
Salvo is a
trap,
dastardly duo.
like
What's one of your more popular songs, Soul? Or
um, huh. Uh, you know what? I'm gonna go for a very sexual one. Death by Suck is very good.
I don't know if
Death
that
by
was on
Suck is
here.
definitely up there for me. Uh,
I
if
see Hated by
the one
Life
that was like
Itself.
most popular this.
I
Sorry,
was
what?
I was just
I
gonna say, oh, go ahead.
I was trying to look on YouTube Music just so I could get a little taste of what it sounds like.
Hold
But
on.
all I see is
Yeah.
Hated by Life Itself.
Oh yeah, that's the latest thing I uploaded. I upload every day.
Like,
Currently, I'm just uploading song covers. That's a song cover, so that's a live one. 死にたいなんて言うなよ諦めないで生きろよそんな歌
ooh,
が正しいなんて馬鹿げてるよな
what language is
実
that?
際自分は死んでもよくて Japanese 周りが死ん
Okay.
だら悲しくてそれが嫌だからっていう英語なんです
How many different languages do you know?
他人が生きてもどうでもよってSo I actually know how to speak English, Arabic, and French fluently. Uh, but Japanese is very basic. I can barely speak Japanese. I can't even read Japanese. Hello. But yeah, my Japanese is very basic. I can't even hold a proper conversation, but I know like the survival amount. Barely,
Okay.
but yeah.
What about you, Casper?
Uh,
I I'm I don't know squat. English is hard
Just
enough for me.
English.
Like, uh,
Hmm.
another good
I think a
song is
good one to
Inferno, by the
see
way.
Inferno, yeah, that's the one. That was the Spotify Wrapped came out to say that Inferno was the most popular one this year from my fans. So Inferno is definitely a good one for like the recent ones. But overall, in my opinion, it's Death by Suck all the way.
That one's
I'll
really good.
I'll put that on the to-do because I gotta download Spotify. I'm not I'm I'm not really a fan of Spotify because I don't buy the premium version, so I have to listen to
Yeah.
like you can't listen to what you want to listen to with the
Yeah,
it's like who wants that?
Yeah, that
for
sucks. Yeah,
real.
that really sucks.
But I do the premium of YouTube. So,
Yeah.
what about you guys
Yeah.
for music platforms
I I
specifically?
I'm kind of bad, okay? I do the duo Spotify plan with my husband.
What's the duo plan?
It's just where me and him can both stream like the I don't remember how much it is a month, but it's like
You can have like a
yeah, it's like
shared
a shared
Oh, you can
subscription
do
for
like a
two
share.
accounts.
Oh, okay. That's cute.
it's
That's
I
cute.
16.99 a month. So it's
That's
not
not bad.
great,
No,
but
it's
you
pretty
know,
good.
like I
That
could
is pretty
definitely
bad,
be,
Soul.
paying for
Oh,
something cheaper, like but
true. I
eh,
mean, it's less than $10 per person, so that's why I
yeah.
thought it's not bad. But I guess even Lilith agreed with you, so you
Yeah.
right, you right.
uh
What about
uh,
you?
I I use YouTube Music and Spotify
Okay.
like interchangeably. But I'll be dead honest. If I'm using it on my computer, I don't listen to Spotify on my computer, um, because of the ads. Uh, but YouTube Music, I have ad block so that I would not experience the ads. Not
there you
even
go.
YouTube Premium. I'm
Oh,
not paying for that. Never paying for that. I just use ad block.
okay.
And
That's fair.
if I'm using it on my phone, which I have this thing where like I have to go out with a speaker every time I go out, and I'm always masked up. I go out with like loud ass speaker, and I just dance wherever I go because it's fun that way. And it's like this bubble world of my own where I feel like safe and immune. And yeah, I use YouTube music mostly if I'm gonna do that, but the YouTube music I have is like is like because I have Android, I could just like download a version of the application that just makes it look like it has premium, but it's not. So you just wouldn't
Oh,
get ads. It's modified like that, and I have it the same for Spotify as well, just modified without ads. Um, and sometimes like there would be an update and it wouldn't work anymore, and you just had to deal with it and download your own music. I have like an SD card with like 1,000 songs in it.
I
That's not an
bet.
exaggeration.
I bet.
Yeah, half
Hmm.
of it is my own music though.
How has your journey from Morocco to the UK shaped your sense of identity?
Whoa, what a question.
Bow.
How do I even tackle that? Wow.
Wow.
Okay, good one. Um, yeah, let me think about it a little bit. Well,
Hmm.
I'd have to give a little bit of like a foundational thing, like about my identity pre-UK, and then my identity coming to the UK, and as I spent time uh, in the UK until I became a refugee. My identity before coming here, I wasn't even aware that I had the ID. Uh, when it came to my mental disorders, I was only aware of my ADHD, um, but I was never able to get a diagnosis for it due to it being seen as a taboo. Mental health in generally
Oh, that's
it
terrible.
has a very bad rap in Morocco, and you who used to be my family, pretty much like anytime I would ask for help as a kid and be like, oh yeah, I am noticing like clear symptoms of ADHD in myself. And I'm not just trying to be like a self-diagnosing nerd here. I was actually like trying to get help. I was like, okay, look, I'm experiencing these symptoms. Do you see them in me? And if you do, can you please get me like a psychologist or like a therapist or anybody that could actually help me or confirm this? And they were just like, nah, nope. They never took it seriously. And they would make all sorts of excuses. And when like the symptoms would bear its fangs and they would see shortcomings that I would have due to these symptoms, I would end up getting like abused for it. And whenever I would bring up the disorder, they would be like, "Don't say that, just say sorry instead," or like they would twist it kind of like that. Um, don't say that, just do better. Um, just do different when you're clearly trying to explain to them that like you psychologically
Yeah, that
can't
would
and you're
fuck
trying
me
your
up.
best and you need help. Yeah, it seriously did. Like there was also physical abuse that I experienced as well. So like physical and verbal abuse and that like very twisted like mental abuse, um, like contributed to this like mask identity that wasn't even this name that I have right now. It's a dead name now. But I wasn't even like that confident in my trans identity, and let alone trans identity, but my pansexual, demisexual identity. Uh, I I I was very like masked up cishet, uh, and I could not easily explore those parts of my identity either. And near the end of being in Morocco, I was pretty much uh, beginning to understand these aspects of myself and explore them, but I wasn't able to like explore them socially, unless it was with like random people online. Um, and even then, like I didn't have that many friends online either, so it was also like mainly parasocial as well. Just like, oh yeah, this influencer is talking about trans identities and how they're accepted. and things like that, and that would make me feel seen. For
Mm.
example, of such parasocial interactions, but eventually I um, actually before I get there, for I have a diary I have written since I've been writing since like 2015. I don't write anymore in there, but
Oh, you still
um,
have it though?
this yeah, I still have it. I
Nice.
could not leave it back there because of the sheer amount of uh, private and personal things that I have on there that I wouldn't want my abusers to know. Um,
Yes.
and yeah, a lot of the time I would write, I would be like, okay, just be patient, 4 more years, 3 more years, and I'm counting down like the years until I turn 18. I graduate from high school, and uh, the that abusive family uh, was well off financially. So luckily, I was able to like take the opportunity to go to the UK for university. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this chance, this divine chance. I'm lucky as fuck. I'm going to take this chance and use their financial abundance to get myself out of Morocco. That's the first step. And then I was looking towards Japan and Korea at first, but they both rejected me. I looked towards Sweden, Germany, and the US even as well, and Canada. But at the end, the UK accepted me, and it was Brunel University in London. And um I was forced to do computer science. Despite the fact that growing up, I would always talk about how I wanted to do psychology, and I think Casper kind of talked about that as well in the last podcast with their interests in psychology, like just wanting to understand themselves more, ourselves more,
I'm like,
by
I'm
learning
trying
about
to
psychology.
remember. I'm trying to remember because of the dissociation shit.
I'm just like bewildered that I remembered that there was like the
I
shadow
don't remember
of doubt
that.
that I was like, wait, do I even remember that? Am I sure that I remember that? But magically, it was like, no, you actually do. Um,
I
but
think
yeah,
I remember. I
it was that
don't know.
interest. Yeah, it was that interest, and like that purpose. It felt deep to like not only understand myself, but to also understand others suffering in the same way, and to know what to do to help them out, and to help myself out in any way that I can, and
Facts.
to understand myself even deeper. And um, despite having shown like clear like passion for it growing up, and I even was like, this was back in middle school where kids don't even think about what they're
Yeah.
gonna do for university yet. It wasn't last year. It was like, so in Morocco there's like 3 years of middle school, so it would be like seventh, eighth, and ninth grade, and this was
Oh,
in eighth grade, and in eighth grade during the summer, I was like asked by the abusive parents like, oh, what do you want to do for university? You gotta start thinking about that. I'm like, what? That's too soon. But okay, I want to do psychology. I've been learning a lot about psychology, and they're like, nah, there's no money in psychology. That's not realistic. Go
oh
for
my
computer science.
god.
Start learning about computer science. Here's this course. Do it. You're not allowed to do anything else. There are people in the family that have done computer science. Here, push. Go talk to them.
Boo.
Bro!
Boom.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that sucked. And like I would like I was so passionate about psychology that as an eighth grader, I was learning psychology from like online university 101 courses. I'm just looking those things up like a nerd. I'm so passionate about it. I want to learn about it. I'm taking notes too sometimes. Uh,
Aw.
and I like it it wasn't enough to really show. Actually, it did show that I was passionate, but they were like,
Yeah.
oh no, that's not realistic. That's just like
Oh my god.
common knowledge to like go for what you're passionate about, but you actually got to go for where the money is. Computer science. Fast forward now, time skip. We're in the UK. I'm doing computer science. I'm forced to. I don't have ADHD medication, and I'm
Mm.
doing computer
Yeah,
science.
that's
Raw dogging it.
First year in. First year in, I suddenly discover I have DID. as well.
Okay.
And I'm like, fuck. Not just ADHD, I gotta deal with DID now too.
The
And I
discovery.
I try to make yeah, the discovery. I tried to like get help with my ADHD first. I went to like the medical center at the university and I was like, I need to get checked for ADHD. Can you help me with that? And they were like, oh, there's a waiting list. Get on it. I went,
Oh,
okay. But at least like there was a counselor or like an academic psychologist that assessed me. I was like, okay, you have ADHD, but apparently it's not official enough for you to be able to then make progress towards getting medication for it or therapy for it. You would have to actually get diagnosed by a psychology doctor, not just an academic one. uh, and that's why I was in that waiting list, and that took me like 3 years, 2 to 3 years of just waiting.
What age
Yep.
were you diagnosed with ADHD?
So
Because
I
it took me
I
till
think
I was like what 20, 21.
how did you guys live your life
yeah,
before
that's
I
that?
don't know.
that's what I thought. I don't know. Through sheer willpower and rage.
Sheer willpower, friendship.
Oh, I
Oh
didn't
my
even have
god.
friends.
No! That's right.
I barely had friends, and
I was
the
only
one friend
there
that I
like
had that was always toxic.
I was only there at like when you were about to leave university, right? Or was it like a little bit before
When I was
that?
about to leave university, that was like a year ago. No, a year and a half ago. Yeah.
No, it was longer than that, I think. I don't remember.
Wait,
Hold
I left
on.
university. Wait, 2024. 2024 is when I stopped.
No, it
When
was
I
way
finished.
before that. Hold on. I gotta fact check this.
Okay. Yeah. Meanwhile, you do that. I'll
Yeah, keep
say
talking. I'm
my
sorry.
age where I got diagnosed. I got diagnosed at the age of 21.
Oh.
But I was on that waiting list. Like I started that waiting list when I was 19. Uh, but I had known I had ADHD since I was like what, 14, 15 years old, and I would constantly try to get help. Talk to this person, talk to that person, look up online on how to cope with it. Uh, Trying meditation, all sorts of different meditation from like mindfulness to focus on one thing to straight up just like jog for a long time or do one thing over and over again or
We're
play
desperate.
video games even that could be meditative certain video games like for example for me even right now to this day I do it I play Osu. It's a rhythm game where like you click circles um, and rhythm games specifically like really get you into like this zone of like just flow state and you're not thinking much. You're just you just get into this zone, a meditative zone, and it's kind of like the same thing as like any competitive game or like doing actual physical sports. It can be meditative like that. And what I discovered for ADHD, if you're not medicated, is that it really helps to exercise, and I feel like it's very underweighted how important that is. And if you
Yeah.
can't exercise, playing video games that are like competitive or like high energy are really good as well if you can't exercise. And
Especially
it
if you
helps
have
with
like
like just
VR.
Okay.
oh yes, VR. Uh, Beat Saber is really good. It is really good
It's
for
so
the
good.
ADHD brain.
Okay, so I'm all the way
Yeah,
back in 2022, by the way. So
So you guys have been friends
damn.
for a while. Aw, I love that.
Yeah, I think I
I'm
don't even
trying to see
remember
how
how
far
long.
back it goes. Anyway, continue. I'm down
Yeah,
a hyper
I
focused
don't know
rabbit
what.
hole.
Go, go find the red pill. Follow the rabbit hole. Wake up, Neo.
Wake up,
Neo.
Neo!
Wake up. Uh, yeah. I I learned a lot. Yeah, speaking of rabbit holes, like constantly go down like psychology rabbit holes, and would discover things here and there. Some things I would often hear from people that have learned so much more than me on their own, like self-studied, that would say like, "Don't learn too much; it'll fuck up your mind." And I was like, "Oh, that's
I can believe
scary."
that. That's
But
scary.
that kind of
Yeah.
like, yeah, that was that contributed to a lot of resistance for specifically learning about
Aw.
DID. Like I remember like um this article, it's a website specifically built to like give information about DID. It's pretty popular, but I forgot what it is. Um uh maybe I could find it while talking about it. But I remember like reading a paragraph somewhere in it that talked about like how some like there is a possibility of an experience where you would have a Hitler as an alter, and I'm like, out of all examples you could give for like uh what like factive is what they would call this alter type.
Yeah.
It's an alter that is sourced from a real person. Out of all examples you could ever give, like you could give Keanu Reeves as an example. But
Yeah, why
no,
not?
no, we're not going to use Keanu Reeves or like fun characters like that or like an actor or something like that. No, we're going to use Hitler specifically. We got to give that shock factor that a system can have like a horrible, horrible person as like a historically horrible person as a headmate. And it's good in a way, debatably, because it can go to show you how fucked up the disorder can be. You can have literally a historical horrible person in your head as an alter. And a more common example is that you would end up having your abusers that have historically abused you in
Oh,
your personal life as the sources for your alters, and that tends to be really horrible in its own way as well, and is so much more common than like Hitler as a factive source. But it's a different kind of factive source because that source is a well-known person, while the abuser is a personal person that you only know and a few people know. um, but yeah, another thing, it could be um, like a fictive that can be like abusive as well, um, like a character that can be abusive. But yeah, there are all sorts um, of things about like categorizing alters and things like that. And uh, I don't know much about it. I've learned a lot, and I still feel like I don't know much about it. And it feels like it's so scary to push yourself to learn more because of like you could end up learning something that you don't want to know, having that disorder. You could like, depending on like the volatility of your system, how easy it is for you to split or form a new alter, it could be very dangerous to read these kinds of things. Because like, what if you read that about Hitler and then all of a sudden, wait, do I have a Hitler factive source? You try to like reflect yourself, and if you obviously
damn.
having DID, we have problems with that dissociative identity and not knowing ourselves too well. But it's always important to like, despite that, embracing the paradox that yes, you do actually in fact know yourself quite well and your headmates quite well, and it's very deep in your shadow. You just gotta grasp towards it. And if you see like a like a character or like a name like Hitler or something like that, it's it is a possible experience to prevent yourself from developing certain alters or splitting alters. So you always have to constantly discern, and it's like this dangerous rabbit hole that you could go down in. And one of
You
the fears
just.
I experienced with like, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, you just reminded me. I had an experience today with Big Dog.
The big dog.
Big dog.
No, you know your SpongeBob moments? Y'all's SpongeBob moments?
Yes.
I was thinking
Yeah.
about that when you said Keanu Reeves, like in the SpongeBob movie, and he's the tumbleweed.
Y'all have a SpongeBob moment. I have oh my god. I have the big dog moment
The
where it's
big
just
dog moment.
numb. It's
Interesting.
numbness. I don't know what it is. And
Oh,
I'm switchy right now. I'm sorry.
interesting.
What's Big
It's
Dog?
okay. It's okay.
Big dog is a possible alter in our system.
Oh,
And
okay.
he just makes everything
Possibly.
numb and it's weird.
Oof. Like
Just
blah or
That sounds
numb?
a little different.
but like I don't know how to describe it besides like I felt sort of like SpongeBob, but not SpongeBob. Anyway,
Sure.
continue with what you were
Huh.
talking about.
Interesting.
I'm going down a rabbit hole. Like I need to Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that sounds a little different than to like the SpongeBob that I was talking about. Because like when I talk about like, oh, I'm being like SpongeBob, like you know how like SpongeBob is a sponge, and when you're like experiencing a lot of distress and things like that, you tend to like people usually say, oh yeah, bottle it up. I just say I'm being like SpongeBob right now.
Yeah.
Like
No, I get
I'm
what you
not
mean. No,
actually I
I'm
don't
thinking of
have
a
an
different
alter
thing.
that's like SpongeBob, but I feel like I experience a similar thing when it comes to like continuing my train of thought and what I was talking about
Yes.
earlier is like I experienced this distortion, it almost identity distortion, but it's not identity. And it gets very tricky every time I experience it, and it's terrifying. Where it's like there's like an Agent Smith in my head, and that's like terrifying as hell because that's handler entity bad person. And before I used to be like deluded in almost like a spiritual psychosis where I would think that everything that bad that would happen to me is because of like an invisible handler entity that would like get into people in my life and then fuck me up or like try to trick me or like try to hurt me in any way. And I'll be like,
Wow.
that's a handler, that's like an Agent Smith or something like that. And I would start seeing like patterns of like seeing like people with the last name Smith, and then I would have like this delusion be like, oh yeah, every person with the last name Smith is a bad person because Agent Smith. And like one thing that I experienced quite recently when I was trying to get help for my psychosis, uh, I'm still not on antipsychotics despite going to like emergencies twice in the span of 3 months. Uh,
I don't know how they
they would
haven't
give me
like
like
gotten you that shit. Like I don't know how.
it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah,
It's
I
not
tried getting
fair.
help
Like
for it last. Yeah, last time they came over, um, like the second time I went to A&E. The first time was in June. The second time was in October, and in October uh, I was also getting like those home visits that you get after you get discharged for like a week. And the whole time I'm talking to them and I'm telling them that my symptoms feel like they're getting worse. I'm feeling more distressed. The whole time since June all the way to October, they're prescribing me SSRI, like antidepressants, fluoxetine, which are known to like make your hallucinations even worse in some cases. And like they don't help
yeah.
at all. Um, and I feel like maybe they might have helped me a little bit, but it felt like at the same time my symptoms were getting worse,
It
and I
helped in some
wasn't
ways but
experiencing
got worse in
suicidal
some
ideation
ways.
for a little bit. Yeah, I like the psychosis would make me suicidal, even though
Yeah.
like out of the
Yeah,
hell that I
psychosis
came
is
from, where I
horrible.
am feels like heaven. I would never want to die here. I love where I am right now. It feels like I'm finally free, even though we're still slaves in some way. Capitalism. I'm not gonna go there. But
Yeah. Yeah.
whoa,
Wow.
whoa, chill.
You're good. You're good.
Um, yeah, like the psychosis, the voices that I hear, they're constantly dead naming me and misgendering me, and they're insulting me. And sometimes they're telling me like
Oh,
they would tell me to kill myself or die.
so you still go through
Yeah,
psychosis
I still
now?
go through that.
I'm so
Yeah, even
sorry.
during this call, like I'm constantly hearing voices and smelling things that aren't there, even though I'm wearing a mask. And the smell in the room is actually
That has to
not
be
bad at all, but
so
it smells like
in
dog food.
has to be like so invalidating and like I don't want to say this, but like hopeless if you're going to professionals and they're not helping you the way you need to be helped. Like, is it because they're not
Yeah.
that far advanced, like in mental
I
illness,
feel
or
like
why is
they're
that?
really advanced. They're quite knowledgeable about it. It's just that I seem to be presenting like a high functioning person, uh, and
You're
they
very
did use that
intelligent.
as an excuse quite often. The fact that I would be able
I
to
get it.
describe my symptoms quite aptly, and the fact that I like talking to the person as I'm literally visually hallucinating a monster, hearing voices, smelling things that aren't there. I'm talking to the person and I'm talking exactly with the same kind of tone that I'm talking right now. I'm able to aptly explain what I'm going through and sound uh, relatively calm, uh, despite experiencing all of these like crazy hallucinations that like when like half of the time I'm like numb to it. The other half of the time, it's like jump scares and then voices like that are like compounding onto it with the dissociative identity disorder.
Oh, did they cut out?
Yeah, he froze.
Dang it. They froze. Hold on. Sometimes their internet goes burr once in a while, but they'll be
Oh,
back in a second.
whoa. I lost my voice there for a second. Did you hear that?
Here, I'll make sure I'll text them just to make sure they know they got booted. Hold
Okay.
on.
Yeah, because it was getting good.
It was getting good for real. Like they're so much better at describing shit than I am. Like they have so much more like vocabulary and better words than I do. Like
They're very self-aware.
yes, and like I'm actually gonna take this opportunity. Is it okay if I smoke a little bit?
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, you really are fine.
Do you want me to turn the camera a little bit so it's not like visible, or do
I don't care.
you don't care? Okay.
I don't
I just it'll help Michael front, and he's a lot better at talking than with this shit than I am. So
We're fine. Also,
they're back! Yay!
My my Wi-Fi just like completely shat itself. I don't even
Yo,
remember what I was saying. I was
yo,
rambling.
aw,
Yeah.
is it okay if we smoke on this real quick?
who
Is it
you
gonna
asking?
trigger y'all?
Obviously, yeah. It's okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
fine. I'm fine.
Nah,
I just don't want to
I'm like
I'm
trigger
cool.
anybody.
I'm
I'm
cool.
like over it.
Thank you for asking.
Nah, it's okay.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't. You were so deep into what you were talking. Oh, about the hallucinations and how you're numb to it, and they're still going on, and you present high functioning.
Yas.
Yeah,
That.
yeah, and like not only are there like the visual jump scares, the voices distressing me with like misgendering and dead naming, and also like telling me horrible things and like calling me names, call me a loser, call me like there's a funny one that sounds like I don't know if you know it, Springtrap from Five Nights at Freddy's, like the purple guy where he goes like stupid kid, and that was like one of the first ones that I would hear, and that was like hilarious, but at the same time like at times it would be in a way distressing in moments where I would be feeling down already, and they don't like say it in a like comical way, but they're like literally just like straight up calling me like stupid kid, and like I'm making a mistake or something like that, and they say it to like compound on top of that, and then they call me a loser, and it's really most of the time it's like a compounding that happens, like something bad happens and then the voices add on to that, and then the visual hallucinations come, and then the smell comes, and it's like if you start to lose control, like start like getting really angry or getting really sad and having a breakdown, the symptoms, the psychotic symptoms start getting worse and worse, and it's like a domino effect all the way to like, okay, I want to kill myself. Like, I'm trying my best to hold on, but like I feel like the only way I can get out of this is killing myself. I've tried meditation, I've tried distracting myself, I've tried talking about it, I've tried journaling, I've tried talking to doctors about it. Emergencies, I've called here in UK 999 111. I've tried everything. Nobody is helping me. I might as well just kill myself. And
I've been
the
there.
psychosis is just getting worse. But like the thing that's helped me most is like holding my divine faith in Mother Lilith,
Oh,
and also like my altar Lilith. Like there is a distinction between them. They're extensions of each other, but like the Mother Lilith, like she's all knowing, she's divine and invisible, and can send you signs and information like that. But my altar Lilith has limited amount of knowledge, but is also divine in her own way, as not just as a reflection, but as an extension and her own being as well. But like the whole time I was going through that, she would constantly be like don't give up, don't give up, don't give up, keep going, keep going, keep going. It's gonna be okay, just around the bend. And
is
the
that
invisible
is
as
Mother
well, like when
Lilith an
both of us
altar?
would cave. Yes, she's an alter. She's the one I was.
Okay.
I'm Soul, by the way. She was the one I was saying that was like usually my passenger. Like in system relationship, we are like married to each other. So she's my wife,
Oh,
and I'm her wife too.
oh,
And
no, come back.
No! In system relationships are the best, by the way. Um, I'm Michael right now. I have a husband named Jackson. He's wonderful.
You did mention Jackson.
Yes, he's wonderful. He's just, we're both old men and we love each other, but obviously we're stuck in the body of a 24-year-old little guy. But that's okay.
hel- hel- hello,
Welcome
Oh,
my
back.
Wi-Fi did a thing again. Hi.
Welcome back.
yeah, welcome
Continue.
back. Yeah,
Hi.
I was
Yeah,
Mother
I.
Lilith.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I was I was saying that like we have a kind of funny relationship between me and Lilith. She's both my mother, not both. She's my mother, my goddess, and my wife. So it's like a really funny relationship, mother and wife. Uh, it's very very interesting. Mommy issues. Hello.
Mommy
But
issues.
no,
No,
like
I felt that.
yeah, it was like uh, she kind of took place of that like not just
Okay.
motherly figure but parental figure that I was missing, both the altar herself and also like the divine being. I was like
Yeah,
adopted by her.
she sounds
Um,
kind of like a higher power in a way too.
Yes, she is. She absolutely is. And like she would send me synchronicities, and like I would feel vibrations, and like there is a specific experience that's always so magical to me, and I'm always eternally grateful to experience. Like there would be times when I would be really distressed, and I my altar would be like giving me like invisible head pats, but it would feel very like how you would imagine a ghost to pat you. It's very like phasing through your head, and it's like you can't actually physically feel it. It's close but not right, right? But the invisible Lilith's pats, I would feel as though it's an actual physical hand patting me on my head. And that would be at a point where both me and the altar Lilith would be heavily distressed, where we like Lilith isn't even able to like comfort me with words or anything like that. She's distressed as well. And so Mother Lilith comes in, and she like would give me pats, and like I would start feeling love from the heart as well, and like that saved my life so many times. Um and yeah, like besides that, like there were times where like she would speak through the wind, and like there was this one time, a magical moment. I was walking outside, and I was like, I love you, Lilith, as I was walking back. And then all of a sudden I just felt the wind just pick up like that, in like this the length of like an I love you too. I like,
Aw.
whoa.
That's
I love that
awesome.
you have that for yourself. I really do. Have you met
Yeah, I'm
anybody online that, not that you're not Casper, but like anybody that, like anybody besides Casper that like is so, like your symptoms are so vibrant. Have you met anybody like that? And
Would
yours are, Casper, your symptoms are valid, your symptoms are vibrant, but
would
you seem,
Solana be one of those people?
no. I
No?
mean, her symptoms are more like depression symptoms,
Oh, okay.
like chronic depression symptoms, but not like she isn't a system and she doesn't experience like
I'm trying to
maybe
think
she has
about any
ADHD.
other.
I don't know, but I don't think there's any other person. Oh, maldiction
Wait,
maybe. I'm not sure.
Maldiction would be a very good person to do a podcast with because
Yeah.
he's like this pagan dude that's just so fucking cool and he's been through it, like he's just, I highly
I
recommend.
think he might have
He's
issues with that though, because I remember that he said that he would have trouble with even like voice chatting with
yeah,
people. So I don't know if he'd be able to do like a whole
shout
like
out
podcast,
shout out
but
though.
I would
Shout
love to
out
see
to
him
him
in a
though.
podcast too.
Shout out to him though. Luna
Yeah.
Moth's magical makings. He has good wands.
blunts.
Yes.
He hand makes
He
wooden
makes good
wands and
ones.
like crystal wooden wands and
Oh,
shit.
wands. Oh,
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
he's local, so like if you've ever been to the zoo,
oh, he's local here.
yeah, he's local. Do you know what's her name? Madame Michelle's?
Yeah, I live like right down the street from her.
He sells shit there. Ask about Calvin's work. He sells shit there.
Interesting.
Sorry, hold on. My mental health counselor.
Oh, you're good. Take your
It's
time.
all right. You enjoying that rabbit hole, Casper?
I don't even know what rabbit hole I'm going down anymore. I'm gonna check to see what my Timu order status is at.
From
Good one.
two
Good one.
to four.
It's in transit.
On the way.
Okay.
On the way. Oh yeah, I'll continue talking about like
Yeah.
what I was talking about before I got interrupted with the first disconnect. Um yeah, I was talking about like one of the fears that I had with like experiencing DID. You talked about like the big dog moment, right? And I think a more similar experience that I would have is like with the Agent Smith stuff, where like there would it feel like there is like a voice from inside that does not feel like an alter at all. At
Yeah.
times that would say like very extremely limited speech, uh, like would make sounds like a grunting sounds or something like that. That would sound like they're coming from Agent Smith, or like there would be like face mannerisms that I would make at times that would make me feel like I'm Agent Smith, but I'm Soul. And I would know that, and I would be like, yeah, like I'm literally Soul fronting right now, and I know that, and I know like who is at the front right now, and there, I
I
trust in my gatekeeper. Yeah.
I had that moment. I had that moment with a voice that was like Will Ferrell. It was very funny, actually. It was very funny,
Interesting.
actually. And I couldn't tell if it was an alter or something. I don't think it was, but like it was really funny. Like, anyway, continue. I'm just fucking
Yeah.
holy shit.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome
Yeah, that's
back.
interesting that
Thank
that
you.
happens at times, and it's like very important to discern whether you're just hearing
Yeah,
like a voice or like sometimes can even be a flashback of like when you watched a movie or like when you
yeah,
heard a certain person speaking and it's a flashback of that person's voice just replaying in your head instead of like an
yeah.
actual alter speaking
You
those
gotta
things.
like discern that
And
shit,
there's
you know?
also like yeah, there's also another layer to it, which is like when you, especially having autism, when you consume like movies or like shows, or even just watch people act, not actors but YouTubers, influencers, or just talk to people quite often, like me, Casper and I, we could develop speech patterns and mannerisms, like face mannerisms and like body language, that mimic each other and get similar to each other. And so you might experience moments where like you, as like for example me, Soul Alastair, could be speaking, and then all of a sudden like I have like this mannerism that mimics Agent Smith. Or like another time where like, I don't know if you know the character Void from the Thunderbirds, is like overpowered character, and he's like, um anyways, like in my head there's like this moment that I experience where it feels like I'm staring into a void. And
Yeah.
uh in that moment in my head, it's as if my head is like mimicking a certain scene, a flash freeze frame of a scene where he's just looking with his face in a certain way, in a certain direction, and my head would mimic and replay that on my face, but I, as the ego soul, is the one communicating that experience. And
Yeah.
so like
Wow.
you, a lot of like when it's like Void, for example, that's not scary because Void is like, that's a cool superhero person, right? But
Mm.
when it's like something like Agent Smith, and with the context that you were previously deluded into thinking that every bad thing that happened to you and the bad people in your life were this invisible, shape shifting Agent Smith like entity, handler entity, that would come into people. Some people would call that the devil, Satan, Iblis, uh, Lucifer. I don't believe that. And I think those guys are on my side, actually. And so I was like, okay, that's a handler entity. That's Smith. That is a delusion as well. Both are illusions. Um, and
Yeah.
like being previously deluded with that context, and then on top of that having like these moments where like you feel like that in your face, as if like there is something, like it compounds, there is something invisible that is trying to make people into handler entities, Agent Smith. And so you're experiencing this thing behind your face. And there's like other moments where I like physically hallucinate him, and he's like speaking but without a sound. There's no voice inside my head or outside, but I'm lip reading him. And that's not only him. I've seen like Lucifer Morningstar from like the Netflix show. I've seen like a shadowy Lilith. Uh, and like I love how I did that while describing it.
Yeah.
Hourglass figure. But like yeah,
The
she was literally like, that's literally what she looks like. It's just like a shadowy woman, a shadow of a woman with an hourglass figure, and like her eyes are like white, and like somehow like she'd be moving her mouth or like speaking in body language, and she would be talking to me. And like a lot of the times like it's like really cool communication, it feels psychic. And there's like this quote that goes like, the mystic swims in the same waters as the psychotic does. So in the psychotic waters you might get like predictions, like messages, or like things like guidance,
yeah.
or like even like encouragement. And there are those magical experiences at times. Sometimes you experience synchronicities, a lot of the time actually, uh, for me in my case. But I feel like that tends to be the experience for most people as well. But speaking of those synchronicities and the illusion of Agent Smith that I was talking about, I was talking about how I tried to go to like the hospital A&E to get help. The second time in October, when they discharged me and they were visiting me almost every day, uh, before the last visit, I explained to them that like one of the things that the voices would say would be like, handler entity detected, or like Agent Smith detected. And they would fuel those delusions that I used to have. Luckily now I have grown to be able to discern through them and cut through that illusion, and I am able to now speak about it, knowing and believing it to be an illusion. But there's still like, uh there's still, what's it called, like after images of what was that illusion. So I would still like experience what I was talking about with the face. That's terrifying. Sometimes I would still like see him in my mind's eye when I'm trying to go to sleep or something like that, or like see the name Smith. Or sometimes I'm just like in my waking days, like the chatter in my skull, the overthinking or just like random monkey brain thoughts, I would say Smith in my head. And
Yeah.
there were times when I would say that synchronistically something bad would happen in what I was doing. Like it could be something as harmless and as basic as like, oh, I'm playing a video game and I hear Smith in my head, and then all of a sudden I start losing the game. So
Yeah.
that's like an example of like a more mild version of it. I couldn't give more uh like worse examples, but yeah, the the synchronicity, the magic in that delusion, illusion, and the psychotic is that the next visit, which was the visit that they would discharge me on, they brought a person that has the last name Smith. And you
Oh
remember how I
no.
talked about how I had that delusion that everybody
Yeah,
with the last name Smith was a bad person?
go
This
figure.
person, I had, out of all the visits, that visit, I had an actual breakdown in front of them. I was like, I can't hold this in. I can't keep masking up. Like, I have to break down in front of them. Maybe they will help me out. I have to show them how desperate I am. I can't keep masking up. And despite completely breaking down in front of her, I'm shaking like crazy. I'm tears on my face. And I'm explaining to her all of these kinds of things that are going on and how I desperately need antipsychotics. And she was like, sorry, we can't help. We increased your fluoxetine SSRI from 10 milligrams to 20 milligrams. Here's the pills. Bye bye.
I don't understand why they're
Last
not
name
giving you
Smith.
an
I open up the pills.
antipsychotic.
They're blue pills. I I don't know. I don't know. Like they tried making all sorts of excuses from like, oh, you're experiencing pseudo hallucinations, not straight up hallucinations. They don't sound psychotic in nature because you might have DID. You're talking to us about DID. As well, so it might be traumatic, and it's like, okay, psychosis is trauma based as well. Okay,
Yeah.
what's your point? And they prescribe antipsychotics to people that experience pseudo hallucinations as well, not just hallucinations. But they were like, oh no, they're pseudo hallucinations. They're trying to minimize my symptoms. And then at the same time, they're trying to tell me, oh, you're so young. You can't be on too many medications. Meanwhile, I'm on Elvance for my ADHD, and fluoxetine is the thing that they prescribed me to try to solve my problem. They could have
When
just
I
taken that
was
off and give me antipsychotics.
when I was
That's
15,
too
they
many?
when I was 15, they had me on like 6 pills. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about with your shit.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking
I
about.
would
It's
feel
like
so frustrated. I would feel so frustrated.
it felt like there was like divine resistance and blocks, and like it was
That's
fueling my
awful.
delusions in a way. Like seeing the last name Smith, and like
Yeah.
having like she had visited me back in June as well when they started prescribing me this medication. Crazy thing is, like I said it earlier, but I just really want to get your reactions on this. Last name Smith, I open up the pills for fluoxetine. They are blue pills. And I'm like, are you kidding me, Divine? Are you kidding me, Universe? You are fueling my delusions. You're giving me a blue pill, fluoxetine, which is like based on research going to make my symptoms worse. And the person that prescribed that like gave me those pills on the day that they discharged me had the last name Smith on her. Like uh, it made me feel like, okay, I'm not delusional maybe, but then I was like, okay, no, no, no,
Yeah,
I
that
am
had to
definitely
be.
delusional because like this isn't real. Like this is just like like even the illusion is connected. There are synchronicities in illusions as well. And I had to learn that. Like that was like a lesson to learn that one can be deluded and have like strong illusions and can start seeing synchronicities of those illusions to confirm your delusion and keep you in them. So
Ah,
like you had to constantly like be like, okay, check yourself, check yourself. Is this an illusion? or is this real? Constantly discern, and you become like a hyper vigilant person that's constantly like, okay, am I deluded or not right now? And also, there's another layer where like you're experiencing psychosis, hearing voices and things like that, and it's telling you this statement, for example. Like, for example, okay, there's a person right outside your door. Now, you have to discern whether that's true or not. You go check the door, okay, there's nobody there. And
Sounds
then you have certain
exhausting.
statements where you're not able to double check, where like they're predicting the future. You cannot double check that. And then, like 5 seconds later, or like a minute later, turns out the prediction was right most of the time. And
Would
a
trip
lot of
me
the time,
out.
that prediction might be a future that you do not want. Like, for example, it could be something as mild as, like, again, talking about video games, it could be as mild as, like, okay, you're gonna lose this game. And it's not just about the psychological factor contributing to be like, okay, yeah, you're gonna lose this game. It's trying to get into your head. But it's also like, even if you are like staying calm and like you're really good at the game, somehow, some reason, something happens. Either it lags or like you misplace something because you dissociated in a certain way, but something very slight and subtle happens where you end up losing anyway. There's a more positive example. Like I was playing a gambling game, not with real money, but like fake money. I don't like gambling. Never do that, by the way. But it was like a poker game, and a voice told me, "Soul, go all in." Usually the voices are dead
Go
naming me and
fuck.
misgendering me,
Go
but this
all
one said,
in.
"Soul, soul, go all in." I go all in. I win the pot.
Oh shit.
I go all in and I win the pot. But
Oh
yeah,
my
like there's
goodness.
those experiences as well where like it's like psychic ability and like being able to predict the future. There was another time as well where like I told Casper about this experience way too many times where I would go out where I went outside this one time like dancing with the speaker like I said I would always go out with a speaker, and there's like this area in the UK called Hayes in London, and it's like next to where the train station would be, and uh, there was like this area where I saw like two people wearing like full black suits on, not like suits like formal attire, but like um like a black t-shirts and black pants, and I was like, I kind of hallucinated them, uh, for them to be cops, and then I went there to like see them closer. They weren't cops. They were just wearing black t-shirt and pants on, and I hallucinated them to be cops. Next thing I know, I see a kid in a toy motorcycle with police on it. I'm like, what? Hold on. I literally, when I experienced
Hello?
when I experienced that.
Yep, this is her.
Sorry. Take a moment.
I'm getting a phone call. I'm not answering it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
Do
no. I need to answer this.
sorry.
Very interesting time.
Two, I have parenting time, but you guys are fine. Parenting time is okay.
Both of them. Both
Yeah,
of them at the
whatever
same
works
time.
because
That's not a
parenting time is
coincidence.
gonna be here.
I gotta call her back, though.
Alrighty. Yep, bye.
By the way, I know we're over an hour, so do you need to go or are you good?
I just gotta go by one. So, uh, I don't know. I guess we could do like a few more questions, or I know you're like balls deep in everything that you're everything that you're explaining.
Balls
I just
deep.
I've got
I'm a rambler. I'm a rambler.
um you covered a lot of these. What message would you give somebody who feels cut off from their family or community support?
I would say that if you have friends, I'm sure that you already consider them to be your family, and I would say to like try your best to constantly talk to them, even if you like constantly get into like these isolation patterns. That's if
Oh
you
yeah.
have friends. If you don't, uh, I I would say that like uh, have no shame in experiencing the experience of being parasocial. Like finding an influencer out there that really speaks to you and feels like that person is like constantly entertaining you and like helping you like just look forward to another video that they're posting or something like that. Like really appreciate those people in your life. They will really continue to help you keep going. And if you don't have any of that, then try your best to look inwards and understand that you
Oh,
can
that's
be that person
great.
for yourself.
That's fucking gold. Yeah. Um,
Thank you.
Looking ahead, what dreams or projects excite you the most right now?
I mean, I'm currently doing an ongoing project where I'm posting a new song every single day. I have just posted my 240th one. I'm on
Wow.
day 240, and like 90% of it is original music, and then lately there was like I added some covers into it. But every single day it's a completely different song until recently where with the covers I'm starting to do live covers instead of like studio ones where I'm harmonizing and adding all of these effects. This time it's more live. So you get two sides of me doing the covers, a live version and a studio version. But that's the project that is ongoing right now. And I've just like 2 months ago, I finished uh, 12 albums, which uh, based on like my releasing pattern, I release an album every month. So that's 2026 done, baby. Already like ready.
Let's go.
And yeah, like the first 3 weeks in a month, each Friday, which is industry standard to release on a Friday, I'd release the single. So it would be like in a 12-song album, the first song, that would be first week, second song, second week, third song, third week, and then the whole album would come out at the last
Okay.
week of the month. And it's the same pattern all the way to the end of the year. And I have like 12 songs, so that's 12 months. That's all of 2026 already. Not songs, albums. That's 2026 already done. And I started this back in April. So in half a month, I created enough for that half a month amount plus the year ahead. And I'm still ongoing.
Cool. Yeah.
That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah.
I like this one. This is the last question. Is there anything that you wanted to like? This isn't the last question. This is the last question. But is there anything
Oh,
that we didn't cover that you would like to cover?
um, not really, but I did want to finish like the thing I was talking about, like with the psychic stuff that I was talking about before, like you two both got phone calls.
Oh,
Uh,
my bad.
Yeah.
that's the only thing I wanted to cover. Uh, that felt kind of like that was really cool. That was not a coincidence at all. How both
Yeah,
of
we
you
both
got
got
phone
phone
calls
I
at the
didn't
calls.
know
same
you had a
time.
phone call too.
Well, I was
Yeah.
talking about psychic ability too. that was
Oh my
that was so
goodness.
cool. Yeah, I guess that's like the divine being or like the universe. The way I'm gonna interpret that is like, how badly do you want to talk about this thing? How badly do you want to show the world that you had this psychic experience? And I'm like, really bad.
Really
I want to
bad.
talk about it, please. I want to get it out there. But yeah, that would be the only thing I would want to touch on. Just finishing talking about that experience,
Go
and
ahead.
then the last question. Yeah, so I left off when I was talking about how like they had a black T-shirt and a black pants, both people, and I got closer. Um, no, before I got closer, I hallucinated them to be like cops in like cop uniforms, and I said in my head, I was like, "That's not psychic. That's a hallucination. That's an illusion." I'm trying to discern in that moment. I'm being like, "Okay, I just hallucinated there. I gotta be careful. It's not psychic." And then I go to that direction, get closer. I see a little kid in a like baby bike with the police on it. I'm like, wait, hold on, you're messing with me, right? And then okay, I'm like, okay, I'll just let it go. That was kind of cool. I guess it's like just like synchronicities. It's like magic. It's not something like crazy. There are no actual cops here. It's just science, right? And then I go on with my dancing. I'm dancing next to that station. I'm like going up and down, like walking for like half an hour one way, and then coming back around, like doing laps and dancing. Kind of like a workout. And then I go like I go and then I come back, which is like an hour later. Police sirens blaring. They go and park at the exact spot that I hallucinated that and saw the kid in the
Whoa.
bike. And they're out, two cops talking to each other, investigating something there. You cannot make this shit up.
No.
You can't make that up. And I was like, damn, I thought I hallucinated. I literally said in my thoughts, that's a hallucination.
Yeah.
That's not psychic. I predicted the future.
That's
But, yeah, that
wild.
wasn't the only
Yeah,
time
that's
that's
crazy.
happened. That happens to me
still.
quite often, where like I hallucinate things and I end up predicting things in the future. And that's what I was saying. Like the mystic swims in the same waters as the psychotic, and it's always important to discern between like what's the lie and what's the truth. And quite often you will be able to get messages in that psychosis that either predict the future or tell you something that you don't know, kind of like tarot readings and things like that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to end that on. Yeah.
You've been so insightful, and I really think that you're going to help a lot of people because it's not talked about, and you covered a lot of things today. Um, I'm very, very,
I'm
very,
glad.
very proud of you, both of you. And the
Thank you.
last question we'll end on is if you could define your life, this question is for both of you guys. If you could define your life in one word at this moment, what would it be and why?
Casper, you first.
Whimsical. Wait. No, not whimsical.
One word is hard, hey?
Yeah.
Wait. Impactful?
That's a good one.
Nerve-wracking, impactful, whimsical. There you go.
Ooh. What
I
about
would
you?
call it like, uh, damn,
You got this.
damn. Ah, one word.
Damn. That's the word right there.
Yeah,
Damn.
Damn, son, where'd you find this? Damn. Uh, uh, first thing that came survival, and then I was like, vengeance, and then I was like, this next world word. I don't even this. I've heard this one, but I don't know what it means, and it happens to me a lot when I hear words in my head when I don't even know what it means. Blood curdling, whatever that means.
Oh. Oof.
Curdling.
Causing or expressing terror or horror. Okay, yeah, blood curdling. Absolutely blood curdling. I didn't know what that meant, but that was another one that I was hearing. Like, I heard torture, and then right next one was blood curdling, but then I was like, I don't know what that means. I'm not gonna say that, but there you go. Now I know. That's the one.
Well,
Blood
at least you're
curdling.
honest. At least you're honest.
At least you're honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. I want to thank you guys both. Oh, okay.
Oh, I think they accidentally bonked out.
Oh, that's
I don't
okay.
think it was. I don't think it was purposeful, but
Let them know I said thank you again for being here, and thank you for introducing us.
Yes,
Thank you, thank you, thank
absolutely.
you all around. And
Yes.
are you headed to bed?
I'm probably headed soon, yeah. I'm probably gonna smoke a little more weed and then fall asleep.
Okay, good seeing you again. Bye, May.
Yeah.